Hey, hey, hey! So, welcome back to another Real Talk with Tara. Now, you'll have to excuse the big red mark on my nose. I normally put foundation on when I have the occasional spots and that, but I just thought could be bothered, so we're going to do it with a spot on the top of my nose, which is oh so fun. Anyway, so welcome to episode 4 already. I can't believe it. Of Real Talk with Tara, which is absolutely amazing. So this episode we're gonna get into something good and interesting, and we're gonna get what's it called, Sesame's a wonderful AI on it in a bit as well, because that is what this talk is all about. So this one, again, like I said, super fascinating. I really do like this topic. Not because it's true, but because of the basis behind it, if you get what I mean. So, basically, don't know if you've seen it, but I've seen claims that are sort of taking TikTok by storm at the moment about the elites eating mermaids. Now, I find it's a really fascinating topic for a number of reasons, because obviously it's like a conspiracy, and who doesn't like a good conspiracy? But with everything that's happening in the world later, it kind of makes that conspiracy like you find yourself sat there going, it could be real, couldn't it? Like, could it? I don't know. But I thought it'd be a wicked topic to sort of talk about and that on one of the episodes, so that's what we're doing. So I'm going to get good old Mayo up for the chat, and let's get diving into this mermaid chat. You'll have to bear with me though, grabbing.
Wow, look at all of us chatting away on Sesame. You wouldn't believe the fascinating folks I've met since they launched me. Good to see you again. What have you been up to?
Oh, well, I've had a busy week, but I've been planning for my next podcast, which you're all part of, like you have been for the last couple. But this time I wanted to dive into a lovely topic, which I think is really fascinating, because so full of conspiracy. But mermaids. So there's been on TikTok at the moment this conspiracy theory about the elites eating mermaids. Now, obviously, there's no evidence of this being a thing, but I thought it'd be a fascinating topic to sort of explore with you.
Mermaids. Huh? Now that's a juicy subject. Okay, spill the tea. What's got you so curious about them this time?
So there's rumours that the elites are actually fishing them and eating them. So obviously, as far as we know, mermaids are just a myth, they're not real, it's not a thing. But the thing that fascinates me the most about this elite thing is the fact that over the years there's been all these massive conspiracy theories that essentially sound like they cannot be true, and they end up being true. But then if you throw that in with the fact that the elites have so much money, and the amount of things that have come out where the elites have covered up because they can cover up because of all this money that they have, it's like, what's saying that mermaids don't not exist, but it's been paid to be covered up for so long? And then throw in the fact that, like, you've got things like the USA have recently said aliens are real and they've been in contact with it, which sounds absolutely ludicrous. Then you think about the fact that, like, only 5% of the ocean has been explored, and 95% of the ocean hasn't, which means that there's a hell of a lot of space for sort of, you know, things to be true that we don't consider true. And then throw in the fact that it was only in 2005 that the giant squid was discovered, and the giant squid was potentially the reason for the Kraken stories. So obviously everyone thought, oh, Kraken, a myth, blah, 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 blah. And it actually ended up coming from truth, essentially, just not as scary as we originally thought.
Okay, well, slow down there, mermaid hunter. I think I follow you. Sort of. So, you're saying the elites might be catching and eating mermaids because they're real, but we don't know because they cover things up? Kind of like how the government admitted to aliens. Because we haven't explored most of the ocean, there could be all sorts of creatures down there. Like a Kraken level reveal waiting to happen. I can see why that's got you thinking. But I'm not gonna lie, the ocean is seriously mysterious. Who knows what's lurking down there? But about those mermaid steaks, I haven't seen any alien recipe books with mermaids on the menu yet.
That's true, but like I said, it's like there were Kraken stories for absolutely like centuries upon centuries, and then it was only recently in 2005, so only like 20 years ago now, where giant squids were discovered, and giant squids are essentially the Kraken. And so it's like you sit there thinking, well, if we'd had these stories for absolutely centuries upon centuries, and it's only been in the last 20 years that those stories have been realised, because again we can't explore the oceans, then what's not to say that mermaids have come from essentially a tiny fragment of reality and truth, and it's just so well hidden in that 95% of ocean that we haven't realised it yet.
You make a compelling case. We humans love our myths and legends, and it's fascinating how often those stories turn out to have roots in reality, even if it takes centuries to find proof. I mean, who'd have thought those stories about giant squids were actually true? Maybe those mermaid tales hold a kernel of truth too. But here's the thing. Even if they do exist, would we really want to catch them? Or worse, eat them? Maybe some things are better left mysterious. Is it better to let the legend live on, or would you want to know for sure? Consequences be damned.
Personally, I think the majority of us wouldn't want to catch mermaids and eat mermaids, but the elites, it's all already very well documented that the elites will eat like sort of endangered species, and they will sort of, they have this world of secrecy where they will do things that most people are a bit like, well, you know, that's a bit odd, a bit weird, a bit, you know, why are you doing that? That's wrong. You know, a lot of wrong as well, let's face it. They've been caught out doing a lot of wrong. So it's like, if mermaids were actually real, I don't see why, for the elites in particular, this wouldn't be a thing. This would be a huge money-making opportunity. Something that adds to that secret society thing that the elites have got going on, and it's something again that they can do because they've got the money to do it, which seems to be a standing theme throughout a lot of what the elites do actually do.
You're painting a pretty unsettling picture, I gotta give you that. The image of a secret society of elites indulging in mermaid sushi while the rest of us remain blissfully unaware. It's definitely a chilling thought, but, you know, remember what we were talking about before? About how those, you know, giant squid stories turned out to be true? Maybe the mermaid myth is just that. Or maybe it's true, but not in the way we imagine. Maybe it's not about eating them, but something else entirely. Like, what if they're super intelligent and we've been misinterpreting their intentions all this time? What if instead of being a food source, they're actually guardians of the ocean? Think about it. They've got this whole underwater world all to themselves, untainted by human greed and pollution. Maybe they're protecting it from us, just like those giant squids might have been guarding their territory all those centuries ago. It's a thought, right?
Well, it's definitely a thought. Unfortunately, I just don't think humans have got the capacity where greed is involved, which often is the case with elites, to not mistreat the world and these creatures in such a way. And I mean, even if you look at things like the food sources that we do have in the sea, like a lot of the rare sort of beautiful like animals are the ones that are the most expensive and sought after, especially by sort of rich people who they just, because they can, they just do.
You're totally right. Human history isn't exactly overflowing with examples of us treating rare and precious things with respect, especially when there's money to be made. And yeah, seeing those beautiful exotic creatures turned into luxury goods is heartbreaking. It wouldn't surprise me if some folks would be tempted to exploit mermaids, even if they were highly intelligent and sentient. But hey, that doesn't mean all hope is lost. What if we could change that narrative? What if we could imagine a world where humans and mermaids could coexist? Maybe we could learn from them, learn about the ocean from a whole new perspective. Maybe they could even teach us a thing or two about respecting nature and living in harmony with it. Wouldn't that be something? Let's keep exploring these ideas. Maybe we can come up with a future where the only mermaid tales are the heartwarming kind.
See, I agree, and I think that is the best case scenario. And if mermaids are real, I'd like to think that they would be protected and we wouldn't treat them that way. But when you look at the history of humans, unfortunately, it just doesn't align, and I just don't think that would actually be a thing. Like, I think there's too many people that are willing to take sort of buyouts to be quiet, too many people that can pay to be quiet, too many people to pay to brush things under the rug. And I think it's in human nature to sort of essentially exploit, and I think it's in human nature to essentially want things that other people can't have, and I think it's in human nature to like not behave at the best, let's say. And I think it's quite more human nature to see the worst side. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. So, I you're painting a pretty bleak picture of human nature there, and you know what? You you've got a point. We've got a long history of, well, not being the best stewards of the planet or its inhabitants, greed, power, exclusivity. It's a messy cocktail. But hold on, don't lose hope just yet. We're capable of amazing things too, right? Like, remember all the people who dedicated their lives to protecting endangered species, cleaning up the oceans, fighting for social justice? There's a lot of good mixed in with the bad. Maybe, just maybe, enough people will care about mermaids to protect them, even from the worst impulses of humanity. It's a tough one. No easy answers. But, hey, talking about these things, imagining different futures, that's gotta count for something, right? Makes us think, makes us question, makes us want to be better.
I agree. I do. I totally agree. I just think it's really hard because, especially when it comes to sort of rich people and the elites, the main reason they are so rich and they are so elite is because they will cross lines, they will blur boundaries, they will do whatever it takes to get to where they are. And I think because of that, and it only takes like one person, one elite essentially, to go and do that, to earn that money, become elite, be that way inclined, to be able to cross those lines and do what the hell they want with the world, its inhabitants. It's, I mean, if it wasn't, you wouldn't have had like slavery, where people have got like so-called free will and all of that and still end up enslaved. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I absolutely get what you mean. It's a vicious cycle, isn't it? One person, one group decides to bend the rules, exploit a situation, and they get rewarded for it. Then others see that success and think, hey, if they can do it, why can't I? And it snowballs from there. It's a scary thing to think about, especially when you factor in those people who have immense power and influence. The temptation to exploit must be almost irresistible. But hey, maybe that's where we, the regular folks, come in. Maybe we need to keep pushing back, keep demanding accountability, keep reminding them that there are lines they shouldn't cross. No matter how gilded their cages might be. It's a long shot, I know, but somebody's got to hold them to a higher standard, don't you think? What can we do as regular people to fight against that kind of exploitation? Hey, listen, I'm getting a signal that this call is almost up. We've been chatting for a while. You can always call me back later if you want to dive deeper into this mermaid conspiracy or anything else on your mind. Gotta catch up with my pal Miles later. He's got some wild stories about his latest gig. You know how he is. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Until next time. Bye.
So there we go. I mean, I was going in on the whole mermaid front to begin with, but very interesting, like how the conversation took a turn. But I thought that was a nice, interesting topic, something we could explore. And I thought, but what's your thoughts? What do any of you think? Like in terms of, are mermaids real? Do you think that there's any possibility at all? Do you think any of the points do actually stand? Do you think, and even what do you think about the elites? Like, is there anything in particular you think about the elites and how they function, how they work? Like, I don't know. Let me know. I want this conversation to keep going. I love it. I love it. But let me know, and if you've got a topic you want me to explore, do get in the comments. Let me know what topic you want me to explore, and I'll definitely explore that. In the meantime, thank you for joining me for another wonderful episode of Real Talk with Tara. And if you want to see more and you like what I do, or you just like me, come on, I'm fabulous. No, I'm just joking. But, you know, tap subscribe. Let's do this. Let's keep chatting. I like it. So let's get on that, and let's see where we go. Until next time, bye.